Real Frank.
Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the new movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, Hollywood did it to me again. You know, they get me all pumped up for this movie. I'm thinking it's going to be this great movie, and I'm pumped and like, oh my God, I was a Ghostbusters fan as a kid. I still watch the 1 and 2 all the time. It's so much fun. I love it. It's like tradition. And then they're going to put this out, and I'm so pumped. And then they give us this. Yeah. Man. I don't know why they keep doing this to us. I mean, this franchise is so great. They tried to redo it in 2016 with this all-women crazy cast and kind of spit it off to its own thing, and that tanked. And then they had the opportunity with this one to fix it all, and they're saying it is a sequel, you know, it's not a prequel or a reboot or anything. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So the story starts. I'm not going to try and give too many spoilers or any spoilers at all. That's my goal here with this review. But the premise of this movie is that Egon has died and he's left his house and everything to his daughter. This is his daughter, his abandoned daughter. So sad, a typical Hollywood story. Father abandons family and daughter. So he apparently had a daughter and abandoned her, and she hates him. She doesn't know why, he left, blah, blah, blah. So this is his daughter. We don't know the mother. We don't know anything. All we know is that Egon got a little play with some girls. He got to use his little epididymis. He was poking his epididymis. Huh? Get it? From the second one? Said women love him for his epididymis. Huh? See what I did there? Oh. So that's his daughter, right? His daughter's got a couple of kids. Here's the kids. He's got a son and a daughter. And of course, you see the resemblance. The circle, little googly eye glasses. We know who is going to have the brains in this family, right? She takes after her grandpa, but she doesn't know her grandpa. She never met her grandpa because the daughter was abandoned. So anyway, Egon dies, and her mom's a loser, lost her house, getting evicted, money problems. So they decide they're going to move into Egon's old farmhouse. And this is his house. It's a creepy old house. Everyone thinks Egon was crazy before he died. He has all these Bible postings outside, and it's just a spooky looking house. Kind of, though, cinematography-wise, it's kind of a cool shot right there. Thought that was kind of cool how they shot that. It looks very neat. And there it is. It's just a crazy looking house for a crazy guy. Everyone in the town calls him the dirt farmer, thinking he's all whacked out. Right. So, of course, the little brainy Egon's going to figure out her death. She finds this little secret compartment. And inside the compartment, she finds one of those traps. She doesn't know what it is. She takes the trap and she takes it to school. She goes to summer school, and Paul Rudd plays the summer school teacher. In this movie, she's about 9 or 10 years old, and that boy befriends her, and his name is Podcast. I'm not fucking making that up. His name is Podcast. That's his nickname, Podcast. What the hell kind of thing they doing here? Trying to update it all completely with these funky podcast names. It was annoying. It's like, why we named him Podcast. So the trap is there. Paul Rudd, the science teacher / summer school teacher, is fascinated. He remembers the Ghostbusters from, seeing the videos and everything. He was a big fan. He knew right what it was. You know how to use it. And then he figures out how to get it out. And what happens is it's the Zool. Zool's in there. Egon had Zool trapped there. So it's a kickback to the first Ghostbusters. And I'm like, all right, man, they're kind of linking the two. That's kind of cool, but why are they going back to Zool and Gozar? I mean, I thought we did that. Why are we going back to there? I thought this was its own type of movie thing. So he lets him out, right? So all shit's gonna break loose. So basically, the kids, the older brother, the guy from Stranger Things is the older brother, and then they got Podcast and the little Egon there are the new Ghostbusters. That was super, no need for that. Super disappointing. I mean, realistically, how are they going to put those proton packs on? And it's just stupid. We go from a reboot of all girls, now we got kids playing Ghostbusters. It just doesn't make sense. Why the hell are you doing that? But that's not the big issues with this movie. I mean, this is okay, annoying, whatever, because there's some good storylines into it, which I'll get to here in a second, but that just annoyed me. And then they turned a seat into the Ecto-1 into a gunner seat, which is kind of cool concept idea. But, this girl's 9'10", and then she's got a proton pack, and they're going to go chase the ghost. Now, that's another thing that's annoying with this movie. There aren't that many ghosts. There's one ghost, and then they kick back to Gozar and Zool is basically the movie. Not that many ghosts. That's it. Which is kind of strange since it's a Ghostbusters movie. 1 and 2, they're chasing a few ghosts, This is it. One ghost. So they're going to be Ghostbusters, going to hunt down. And here's the one ghost. This is the one ghost. I think he's called Chomper. He eats steel, right? This is the ghost. No Slimer, no anything else. This is the ghost in the entire movie, other than Zool and Gozar and some skeleton guy. That is it. And another thing that's kind of annoying in this movie is no one's really afraid of ghosts. Not these kids, not anyone. Even the town, when they see just this one ghost, no one's afraid of it. And that's the thing. The town hasn't seen any ghosts. They have these earthquakes, and they can't figure out why they're having these earthquakes. There's no fracking. There's no fault line. And no one can figure out why they're having these earthquakes. It's because you'll find out later in the story of why that's happening. But apparently, everybody's seen a ghost and not afraid of this ghost. So the kid Ghostbusters, chase this ghost around town. The little Egon girl is the one riding there, zapping with the proton packs. And they're using Ecto-1. Look, no one's carrying these people down here. They're walking. They don't care. They're zapping, destroying the city. And there's a picture of the little girl, 9-10-year-old girl, hanging out on a gunner chair with a proton pack, a nuclear proton pack. Yeah, I believe that. That looks like real Hollywood there. Look at that. Oh, that's pretty safe for a 10-year-old. I don't get it. I don't get it. Some cool things, though, is they do some throwback stuff from the movie. This is they're showing a video clip, like a news clip from the, taken from the first one when they're in the city, and she's watching it on the internet, which is kind of a great idea. I think that was brilliant. That's one thing I did like. And a throwback picture is in Egon's house of the crew. This looks like it's taken from the first one, obviously, because everything is referenced from the first one, which I'll touch base here in a second. And then she's watching the Ghostbusters ad from the first one on the internet and YouTube. So that's kind of cool. I like that. I enjoy that. Modernizing the old movie in that perspective was done well for me. There's some cool cinematography things here. Overall, I give the cinematography about a 5.6. They did some cool things with shooting this. You saw the thing with the entry to the house, and then you see them driving through the field. The Stranger Things kid, the Finn guy, he finds the mobile, he gets it up and running, the Ecto-1, and he drives it around. And this is kind of a cool shot. I thought it was neat looking. Again, another angle of him just driving through a field. It's pretty beaten up and everything. But again, the Ecto-1 is more from the first one than the second one. The second one, they added some striping, some reflective striking below the windows by the doors, and some red paint underneath the bumper, but it's not reflected in this Ecto-1. And some more cinematography. They're driving it. You can see the skyline there and some mountains. I thought that was pretty cool looking. So here we go. Here we're going to start with the weirdness and craziness where the story kind of is this. It's like, what are we watching here? Is this a sequel, or are we redoing the first one? We modernized and redoing the first one. So Stay Puft is here. Again, these clips are all from the trailer. These are not, videotaped illegally. These are from the trailer that I've taken here. They bring back the Stay Puft Marshmallow. It comes alive, right? So instead of him being big, we got a little guy, right? Now this is kind of, why are we going back to that? Why don't we come up with new characters, a new villain, a new thing here with this sequel? Why are we kicking back to the first one so much and using all these characters? And here we are, another scene with the Stay Puft Marshmallow. Now they're cooking one another. That's kind of gross. I mean, cooking. I mean, is that right? Then they're gonna eat them? That's weird. But this whole piece and bit kind of reminded me of the Gremlins. Remember when the Gremlins got all crazy and they're doing crazy things with each other? That's what it kind of felt like with these little Stay Puft guys. And one's got an umbrella through his nose. Just chaos with these little Stay Puft guys. Very, very similar to what it felt like a tribute or a kickback maybe to the Gremlins, or stolen possibly from the Gremlins. They're on a Roomba here. They run into Paul Rudd's foot here. I mean, it's just like really. And then the blender scene. If you don't know the Gremlins, there was a blender scene. One of them is in the blender, and the other one hits the blender and chops the other one up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it just felt like they stole something from the Gremlins, or maybe it was a kickback to the Gremlins. I don't know. Maybe Jason Reitman is a fan of the Gremlin movies. Not sure. So, and then another thing. I mean, here we are back. Am I watching the first one again? I mean, I don't know. This is like the first one. Remember when the sky all breaks hell, and Zool's gonna come, and they got the skyline. This is exactly like that situation, right? You see the mountain in the background. That's the mountain where they are. There's a storyline to that. I don't want to give that away, but again, am I watching the first one? Is this rebooted the first one? I don't know. And then you can see Zool. This looks very similar to a scene. This is all from the trailer. Rick Moranis, remember, in his apartment. He's running from his apartment. He's got that little party going on. Throws a jacket on the little creature guy, Zool, and then he gets chased out of chased through the city, Central Park, through his apartment. Very similar here, except they're in a Walmart, and Paul Rudd is getting chased. Very similar. I mean, is this the first one again? I don't know. Seems pretty weak. And the CGI is obviously better than the first two, but it could be a little better in my opinion. I mean, this was kind of a funky looking scene when you watch it. And again, is this the first one? Here we are, the clouds. Remember the clouds over Dana's building? Here we are over this mine shaft. There's a bunch of clouds similar to the first one. Oh, look at the steps and everything. Again, this is pulled from the trailer. This is just like the first one was Zool and Gozer, everything, right? It's so weird. Oh, here we are. Remember the scene in the building of the first one? Boom. Again, is this they redoing the first one? I don't know. I thought this was supposed to be the third sequel in this series. What are we doing, Jason? We ran out of some ideas here. Oh, and then look at these guys. They're back too. Oh my God. I mean, what's going on? Maybe they remastered the first one? I mean, this is where the story's getting a little crazy. You're getting disappointed here, And, this is where they're blowing up Zool. You see his eyes and everything. It's just like a frame for frame felt like of the first episode or the first version of the movie. Now, the weird thing is they make so many connections to the first one. It's like this one is connected to the first one. There's hardly any kickback to the second one. There's only one scene, and this is the scene here. This is from the trailer. Is the little girl makes a call to Ray's bookstore from the second one. Remember Ray had an all-occult bookstore? That's it. That's the only kickback to Ghostbusters 2 is this scene here. They show the Ray's bookstore sign, and he's answering the phone. And that's all you get from the second one. Everything else is tied to the first one. I don't know if Jason didn't like his father's second one, which I liked it. I thought it was good. There's no mention of slime or anything like that about whole fiasco with the slime, the guy in the pain, nothing. All you get is this one clip here with him answering the phone at his bookstore, which is funny because Jason was in the second one. This is Jason. The little boy is Jason at the kids' party in the beginning, which I don't understand why he doesn't even reference it. That's so strange. Maybe he doesn't remember he was in the second one. You figure he'd be all about the second one because he was in the second one. I don't know. Very strange. Not sure why they left the second one out except for the Ray's bookstore thing. Now they did, of course, bring back the old characters. That's Janine. She shows up in the beginning as a friend. I don't know how she found out Egon died, but she does and shows up there and say he was in much debt. So then you start wondering, maybe Egon was boinking with his epididymis Janine. Maybe Janine is the mother. We don't know. They never told us. Maybe they address it in another one if they have another one. But that's it. She had a very small cameo in it, and that was it. That she was gone. And of course, the guys show up. Obviously, this is in the trailer too. You know it's them. But the weird thing about this scene is when they show up, they just show up. They're just there. Boom. For the big, fight thing at the end. You know it's going to be a big fight thing. There's no surprise there. But the way they got there, they have addressed that. They're in battle, and all of a sudden, they're there. How'd they get there? They take a helicopter there? We know they didn't take Ecto-1 because they have Ecto-1. How the hell did they get there? Did they drive there? They drive there with their proton packs? I don't know. This whole thing's supposed to take place in Oklahoma. So wherever they are, New York, and they drive all the way down to Oklahoma and they make it just in time? We don't know. They're just there. They're just there, and then they just leave. No idea how they arrive there. It's pretty wild. So Ghostbusters Afterlife. Story, I give it a 4.6. It's hard because I really wanted to like this. And there's parts of this that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed how they incorporated Egon in here, being that Harold Ramis died, I think 2014 he passed away, or 2015. I liked how he was incorporated in the story. I loved that part of it. But this felt like a redone of the first one with the same mastermind evil person being Zool and Gozar. I mean, why couldn't they come up with a different villain? You had the Stay Puffs. Why are they even here? They destroyed the Stay Puff. I mean, they can't find another little cute little tinky thing in here. I didn't care for that, and I didn't care for the kids. They couldn't come up with a better solution than having these kids. I mean, using these nuclear proton packs. The old guys could barely carry these things. How are these kids going to manage with these? I didn't really care for that. The acting, I give it a 5.9. The acting was okay. I wasn't bothered by any of the acting. The actors did a pretty good job acting. Cinematography, I give it 5.7. The way they filmed some of those scenes with Ecto and the mine shaft and stuff was kind of cool. I did enjoy that. CGI, I give that about a 5.8. The stuff I showed you was okay, but towards the end, what they did at the end was pretty cool. I was blown away by that, so that's why I give it what I gave it, because of that. I was impressive and blown away by that. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it was really neat, really cool. So overall, I give Ghostbusters Afterlife a 4.3. They pulled me in, got me all pumped up, and then they kicked me in the nuts. That's what they did to me. Kick me in the nuts again, Hollywood. Can't understand why you keep doing this. You got an awesome franchise here, and for some reason we can't be creative on how to keep it going. We have to rehash old shit. We can't come up with new stuff. I mean, they had some cool things in there. They should have just built on it more instead of relying on the old shit. I mean, I like to connect to the old shit, but not make the whole movie based on the old shit. We don't want that. Come on, we have all this new technology, we have all these new ideas. Come on. Very disappointed. Again, give it a 4.3. Thanks for watching.